Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In the last video we have checked how to reject the quotation and finalize one quotation. So the vendor in that quotation is the final vendor to which we would give the purchase order. Now in this video we would check how to create a purchase order. So purchase order is an external document and it is used for a number of processes in the procurement cycle. It can be used for internal procurement, external procurement of goods and services. It can also be used for subcontracting, third-party processing, consignment. Purchase orders can be created with or without a reference. So it can be created with reference to a PR, RFQ, quotation and another purchase order. It can also be created from a sales order and also a contract. Now let's look at the steps for creating the purchase order. So there's a standard transaction ME21N. So once you open the transaction, you have to enter the vendor, then you enter the material that needs to be procured. You have to enter the quantity and the unit of measure. Also you have to enter the plant and then press enter. So the line item will be populated with the information from the purchase info record and the material master in combination with the vendor master data. Next, the delivery date and the net price are also populated from the master data. So 1 and 2 are populated from the info record, and the number 3 part, this information is populated from the vendor master data. So in this screen you can populate the Incoterms and also some tolerance limit, how much over delivery you want and how much under delivery you want. The default texts are also populated via the purchase info record. Like here, the info record PO text is updated from the info record. The info record note is populated from the info record master. The text in this field is the same as our info record. Now next step, you can see that the purchase order contains several items. You can find some information about the status of the purchase order. So you can find the general status as well as the purchase order confirmation, delivery status and invoice status. So this is the information about the quantity and value, delivered quantity and value, still to deliver quantity and value, invoiced quantity and value, and finally the down payment information. So this is an important status tab. Now there are other tabs which contain information about the org data, import, additional data, partners, communication, addresses, texts, conditions, delivery and invoice information. Now here the delivery and invoice tab holds the data about the payment terms and trading terms. So you can insert the payment terms like a D06, which is a payment in 30 days after delivery. We can also have some trading terms like the Incoterms field, that is EXW. So here you update the payment terms. We have the currency and the exchange rate as well. The next step is the org data, which holds the information on the purchase organization, purchase group and the company code. Now you can choose other purchase group if you want to. So there are some other tabs like the conditions tab, where you have the data about the prices and the conditions. So this populates from the pricing procedure. The conditions tab is also in the header and also in the item. Then we have the text tab to maintain various texts of header. We have the address tab, which holds the vendor address data. We also have an additional data where you have the collective number and the VAT registration number of the vendor. So at the item level, the purchase order contains the additional information on the item. Now talking about the delivery schedule, we can enter the desired delivery schedule and quantities that are to be updated at certain date. So I can have a breakup of the quantity. So for example, if I have 10 quantity, I can break up the 10 quantity and set delivery dates according to my business requirement. So if I have 10 quantity to be delivered, I can split the quantity into different delivery dates. So I do that in this tab, the delivery schedule tab. Now the material data tab contains information about the vendor material number, the batch, the vendor batch, the EN code and some other information. So some of the data is populated from the purchase info record. So if we talk about the delivery tab, we can set delivery tolerance percentages like over and under delivery. We can set the delivery status, delivery reminder settings and other information. If we talk about the invoice tab, it holds the information of the invoice, which has the field tax and that should be filled if applicable. So we can enter V1 if that is the tax we have to enter. We also have the conditions tab to specify the conditions on item level. And then we have the delivery address tab, wherein we have our company information, the company address, and it can be changed if we want the material to be delivered in another address. So I can use this field to change the address. So this is the address number. If I change the address number here, it will change the address here. Now if you talk about the confirmations tab, this holds the data for the item confirmation control and the rejection indicator. Now this is the rejection indicator. We can have the confirmation control as well. So after entering all the data, we have a check button. So the check button is important to understand the consistency of the document. So if you click on the check button, it tells you if there are any fields that are missing. So it checks the consistency of the document, and it would give you a message that there are no messages issued. So if you get that message, a green message that there are no messages, then you can post the purchase order. So you're good to go, and you can post the purchase order if there are no messages issued. So after double checking all the data, we click on the check item, and then we can save the purchase order by the save button. So once that is done, the purchase order number will be generated, and we have created the purchase order. So that is all about the theory part for the purchase order. In the next video, we would go inside the SAP system to check how to create the purchase order. We will look at the different tabs that we have talked about. So that is all in this video. If you got value from this video, do like, comment and share with your friends. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or feedback, share them in the comment section below. Till we meet again next time, you all take care and goodbye.